People whispered that the single dad janitor was nobody, just a man with a mop and an old backpack. But the day a Navy SEAL jokingly asked him, "Hey old man, what rank were you ever?" 5 4-star generals stopped in their tracks and saluted him at the same time. No one in that hallway ever forgot what happened next. Every morning before the first sunlight touched the base, Daniel Harris walked into the naval facility carrying his daughter's hand-drawn lunchbox. He was a single dad, a quiet man with tired eyes, and a janitor whose entire world revolved around 2 things: his little girl Emily, and the job that kept food on their table. Most officers barely noticed him. Some nodded politely, others walked past without seeing him at all. But Daniel never complained. He swept, scrubbed, fixed broken lights, and made sure the hallways shined like his own sense of duty that he carried silently. Every morning, he arrived earlier than everyone because he wanted to help someone he deeply understood, a young female soldier named Mia Carter. She was new to the base, only 23, tough on the outside but fragile in moments when no one was watching. She arrived with her baby boy on her hip, always exhausted, always rushing, always carrying the weight of a life far too heavy for her age. Daniel began helping her quietly, holding doors, watching her baby while she signed her attendance, heating the formula when she was too stressed to concentrate. He never asked for anything. He never wanted credit. He simply understood loneliness, the kind she was carrying. Mia used to joke, "You're too kind to be just a janitor." Daniel would only smile and say, "No role is just anything when you give it your full heart." But one morning everything changed. A group of Navy SEALs swaggered into the hallway, loud, joking, bragging about the previous night's training. One of them, tall and overly confident, spotted Daniel quietly mopping a corner. With a smirk, he nudged his teammate. "Hey old man," he said playfully but disrespectfully. "You ever serve? What rank were you, janitor first class?" The hall filled with laughter. Mia froze, stunned and angry. But Daniel didn't flinch. He simply put the mop aside, gave a gentle smile, and said, "I served a long time ago. It was nothing important." The SEAL laughed louder. "Nothing important? Yeah, right." But before the young soldier could add another word, the atmosphere shifted. Heavy footsteps echoed from the far end of the corridor. The entire hall fell silent as 5 4-star generals, dressed in full uniform, approached together, something almost no one ever saw at once. They stopped. All 5 looked at Daniel. And then, to everyone's shock, they saluted him first. The janitor everyone overlooked stood frozen. The SEAL turned pale. Mia nearly dropped her baby. Because this was not normal. You didn't salute a janitor. You didn't salute a random civilian. "Good to see you again, Commander Harris," one of the generals said softly. The mop slipped from Daniel's hand. The hallway went silent. The SEALs stood straight, stunned into complete silence. Mia's mouth fell open. Emily's father, the man who scrubbed floors and fixed leaky pipes, was being addressed as commander, a rank higher than anyone in the hallway except the generals. Daniel swallowed, visibly uncomfortable. He never liked attention, especially this kind. He bowed his head respectfully. "Sir, I'm just a janitor now. No need for formalities." But the general stepped forward. "Not here, not today," he said gently. "You saved our lives more times than I can count. We owe you that salute." Suddenly, the truth began to unfold. Daniel Harris wasn't just a former officer. He had been a top-secret field commander in a special operations unit so classified that most soldiers would never even hear its name. He had led rescue missions in countries no map dared to show. He had brought home soldiers that everyone else believed were gone forever. He had saved generals, teams, civilians, without asking for medals, without asking for recognition. But the mission that changed him forever was the one that cost him his wife. She was a humanitarian worker, and Daniel had to choose between saving a team of soldiers or reaching her building during an unexpected attack. He saved the soldiers, his duty, but lost the woman he loved. He left the service right after, blaming himself every day since. He raised Emily alone, took the janitor job far from attention, and promised himself one thing: no more war. No more guns. No more command. Only peace. And that was why he never told anyone who he was. Mia's eyes filled with tears as she stepped forward. Why didn't you say anything? Daniel smiled softly. Because rank doesn't make a man worthy. How you treat people does. The SEAL who mocked him stepped forward, suddenly feeling smaller than ever. Sir, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Daniel placed a hand on his shoulder. Then remember this. You never know someone's battles. Respect costs nothing. The generals gathered around him. One extended a small box. We kept this for years. It belongs to you. Inside was a medal of honor Daniel had refused long ago, believing he didn't deserve it after losing his wife. He inhaled deeply, eyes stinging, and closed the box. Thank you. But my service now is being a father. That's enough. Mia wiped her tears. You help me every morning without expecting a thing. You're still serving, sir. Just in a different battlefield. Daniel smiled. We all serve in different ways. As the generals walked away, the SEALs stepped back, humbled. Mia's baby reached for Daniel, giggling as if sensing his heart. Daniel held the child gently, looking at him the way he looked at his own daughter years ago, with a promise to protect what matters. Everyone in that hallway learned something that morning. Greatness isn't always loud, uniformed, or visible. Sometimes it's holding a mop, helping a mother, raising a child, and choosing kindness over pride. And from that day on, no one ever looked at the single dad janitor the same way again.